Good morning, guys. Hope you're doing well on this day after the elections day. We're still waiting. But I wanted to bring up, if you like to have a spiritual approach with yourself and your life, this perspective on our emotions that I really like, that I get from different teachers that I listen to on spirituality and things. So it's this idea that when we have feelings and we feel out of sorts, when we're having hard feelings, when we're feeling bad, when we're feeling down, when we're feeling sad, angry, frustrated, any of those negative feelings. So this is a spiritual approach, if you like this. If you like this idea that you also have this part of you that you always have a connection to, this part of life that you always have a connection to, that you could call God, God within you, God around you, spirit, your ancestors, your angels, or maybe you see it as more like your soul, your truth, your heart, your spirit, right? So if you always have this part of you, and in a sense you're always connected to that part of you, here's the perspective on the feelings that I really like. I like this and I get it intellectually. I'd like to embody it more, understand it more for myself, and maybe this can help you. That maybe when we're having those negative feelings, it's guidance from that part of us, from that spiritual part of us, from that soulful part of us, from that part of us that's God, or straight from God, however we feel like we're getting our guidance, right? But what if those feelings are guidance from that part of us? And the reason that we're feeling those negative feelings is because at the time that we're thinking about, feeling about, whatever we're thinking about and feeling about, right, that part of us is also doing that, right? That spiritual part of us, that soulful part of us, or God, spirit, the universe, however you like to see it, we can see also has a perspective at that same time. And so here's the thing, that maybe when we have those hard feelings, that is showing us that our current perspective is out of alignment with that part of us and that part of life, how our heart would see it, how our soul would really think about it, how God is looking at us, thinking about us, or another person maybe, or a situation. So getting into the idea that maybe those feelings are guidance from that spiritual, soulful part of us, and that so we can start to listen to that, that when we really feel out of alignment, it's an indicator that we're out of alignment with that more soulful, spiritual part of us. And so that the answer then is to do things that help us reconnect more, right? And that's what I love getting to spread, that word yoga really just means to connect, to join, union. So in a sense, we could say that anything that we might do to help us reconnect mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, socially, energetically, right? That's going to be the answer, and that those those feelings are guidance telling us when we're out of alignment with that part of us, that part of life, and how we're seeing ourselves, a situation, other people, right? The world even. So I like that. It feels good to me to see that those feelings are there to help us, and that there is that part of us that we always have a connection to, part of life, and that the more that we make our lives about being in that sense of connection, the better we're going to feel and flow, right? Especially as we start to realize that those feelings are just that guidance, that our current perspective is not the way that our soul would see it, or our heart, or our God, or the universe, right? So hope that's helpful to you if you like a spiritual perspective. And maybe even right now, if we're feeling really scared and worried and upset, maybe it is because a part of us knows that everything's going to be okay in a sense, right? That everything's working out for a good reason. So that's how some of that spirituality can help us through life, right? And even help us understand our feelings and emotions more, and use them as guidance to help us, right? Instead of something that's shutting us down and ruling our lives even, right? That maybe it's guidance that's just here to help us reconnect. And that, again, the beautiful thing is that the therapy, the answer when we're feeling out of alignment, is always more connection. What can we do to help ourselves reconnect in various ways right now, and even build a life that's just more about connection? I'm finding it works. I'm here to share that with you guys. Thanks for listening. Hope you have a good one out there. Let's breathe through the ride, right? And see those feelings as that spiritual guidance that they can be. I hope that's helpful. Thanks for being here, guys. Namaste.